All right, Dave. The old Zimpies got nothing on the old-fashioned stomach bug, huh? Tell us about it.
I'll cut that yawn out.
No, keep it. It's great.
So, Wild Bill had a bit of a little 12-hour stomach bug a couple weeks ago now, if you're listening to this. And, then I went through the weekend. Everything was fine. Sunday, everything was fine. Monday, woke up, went to work. Everything was fine. And I got to feeling real crummy about 10. 1 o'clock, I got to go home. Bet we're running out of fuel.
You think?
It's got to be getting low. Anyway, so I ended up with a good old-fashioned 24-hour
Bugaboo, huh?
couldn't keep water down.
That's wild.
So I didn't have solid food for 40 hours, I think. And in that 40 hours, I probably had a gallon of water. But I'd weighed myself. That was on a Tuesday that it was bad. So I weighed myself that Wednesday morning. The previous Thursday, I weighed myself in the morning because I was going to the doctor's appointment. I always like to see the difference in the scale, just try to keep track of that.
How much difference is there?
It's only right at 7 pounds, but I'll take my morning piss and just hop on the scale.
What kind of clothes are you wearing here versus
that's what I'm saying.
wearing?
I'm only wearing my skivvies here, but there I've got shoes, my wallet, my phone, pocket knife, my Leatherman shirt.
You don't take all that shit off?
No.
You get on the scale of the doctor with your bat belt on.
Yeah.
What a moron. What are we dealing with?
You tell me you unrobed there?
Every time, David. Yes.
I don't even take my phone out of my pocket. I hop my big ass on there.
Now, if there's one thing that we deal with, accuracy is key. Now, if we're dealing with your health and your medical history, accuracy
Nobody
is
ever
key.
even told me to take my shoes off, so I ain't going to just voluntarily just unwarranted start disrobing in front of some gal there.
It's the frickin' doctor's office, David.
Hey, how are you doing? Been a while. Let me go ahead and take my britches off one time.
I don't.
Yeah, but
I
you're
don't,
just getting down to your skin.
I don't de-trowel. I don't drop my britches. I'll at least take my wallet, my phone, my keys, my
Boots off.
knife, my Leatherman, my handcuffs, my pistol, my
Pepper spray.
fuck diving belt, like all that stuff.
But it's consistent, and it's always about 7 pounds.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, 7 pound difference. But from Thursday to Wednesday, after my good old fashioned decleansing stomach bug, 15 pounds, pretty well on the nose, within about a quarter pound on the.
Whew. That's tough, bud.
So I've been trying to just keep her down about 1,000 calories a day. Well, today will be different. I had some beer skis.
Now, did you put any Zennies in while you were battling the old stomach bug?
Mm-mm. Nope. I could
See, that's why I told him this whole thing spawned from.
I don't think
Did you
it
see
was
that?
Yeah.
He ate a few.
not on purpose.
Yeah, I
That
know.
steak was really good.
Makes it even worser.
How many Zennies do you think you digested?
3.
2.
No, you ate more than 2. I know for a fact you ate. When you said that, when I said 3 to 4, and you're like, I can recall 2. And I'm like, yeah, that's the key point. You can recall 2. So the first time, so they had taken some steak. They had butchered them steers.
Did you
and
get any of that?
Unbelievable how good that was. So they had some that like you just can't.
It's just
pack.
been weird pieces. Like, you'd
Yeah.
be disappointed if you pulled it out of a
Yeah,
pack of
like you
steak.
can't. You get a
yeah.
good nice cut of ribeyes, and you get that one that's kind of
Wonky.
funky looking, that
Yeah.
like kind of the run of the bunch, or this one's got a little this and that hanging off of it. And they grilled them up. And I'm telling you, it was very good. Like they had
Fresh.
this big, 28 days that sumbitch had hung.
Oh, that's primetime steakhouse
Oh,
hanging.
man. And so they had them, and they were cut probably 3/4 or a little.
inch and a half.
Really?
Yeah, thick. Jen was like, it didn't look like we got as much. I was like, no, but our steaks are 3 times as thick as they normally are.
Yeah. So they were good, and they grilled them up perfectly medium rare, seasoned well. The whole thing had this big ass tray of them, just severed pieces of ribeye there. And Dave's like, "Hey, did you get any of that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's freaking good." He's like, "I know, I'm gonna get another piece." Bam, down the hatch. He goes, "Oh, I think I just swallowed a Zen." What? Well, then we come back like another however many days or minutes later. I ate another Zen pouch. I'm like, oh, good. I'll go ahead and keep track for you. Unreal.
Like that kid that starts eating crowns or glue or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Dave's just eating his nicotine pouches. So anyway, he sends this message about how he's puking his socks up, and I'm like, yeah, sure that copious amount of straight nicotine that you ingested in your gut didn't have anything to do
So
with
after
it.
you said that, I actually Googled it. Like then I started wigging out that I was going to have like, some sort of weird
Start growing Zen pouches in your gut.
nicotine out of my nipples or something.
Yeah.
But it said really pretty low concern or low risk of anything. Actually, it's harder to get nicotine poisoning that way than it is using it orally
No.
because everything in your system kind of neutralizes that stuff.
Yeah, but usually a stomach bug, like if you have contact with somebody, it's usually pretty quick.
And maybe it wasn't, but I don't think it was anything I ate because I ate the same thing everybody else did.
Yeah. I ate some of that.
I just assumed it was whatever William had because he was fine. Then he was down. Then like 3 days later, I was.
But nobody else in your house outside of Wild Bill.
Mm-mm. But like now, see, I'm also a bad one. Like, well, Wild Bill, he's my buddy, And Friday, so this was a Thursday night because he barfed twice while we were recording.
Yeah.
Once we were recording, once a little bit later. And but Friday, I get home from work, and he was still feeling crummy. He hadn't been like throwing up or anything, but he just wasn't his Wild Bill self. He was Mild Bill, you know what I mean?
Mild Bill at best.
And he's like, "Dad, you want to watch a movie?" I was like, "Yeah, buddy." So I turned on the TV, and he hopped up in the recliner with me, and we took a couple-hour nap there, But nobody else was buddying up with him because he'd been sick. But I wasn't going to let him, I wasn't going to let him suffer.
What
alone.
movie did you watch?
Something probably Bluey. I don't know. I probably napped longer than he did.
Gotcha.
But so anyway, I'm just saying I was pretty close contact with him. But yeah, I didn't start right away. It was like 2 days later.
That's probably about right.
Swallowing Zen pouches can lead to nicotine poisoning, which can lead to nausea, vomiting, headaches, stomach ache, and more. Interesting.
So realistically, the 4 may be even a gross understatement.
I mean, he
No.
might have ate a half a can for all I know.
Half a dozen.
Tough.
Now, the warden had sent him a text of a TikTok of a gal that had a cinnamon Zen.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, and then she cut it open and dribbled it on her sweet potatoes
That's wild.
and mixed it up, and seemed to be she was fine.
It's the internet. Got to be true.
Gotta
Like
be
Dave
true.
said, it's fine.
Well, that was like that lady.
Did you shit and puke at the same time?
Nope. Tell you the truth, though, this is.
How did you not?
I didn't puke near as much as I shit, and I normally don't. But this is the first time in, God, years and years. Like, I mean, I've had too many and maybe barfed a little bit.
Mhm.
And I've had the shits because of something you ate or whatever it is. But I don't remember the last time I just had, like, can't keep water. Like, as soon as I drink water, it was going right
Sicky
through.
sick.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, when your little tum-tum is upset, that's usually how that works.
It was terrible.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's that usually when I call it the trash can flu, like when you
Mhm.
get a mean
Because you got to have both.
yeah, you sit on the shitter and puke into the trash can because when you heave, your bowels will release at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened that the last time I got the sickness, I had gotten out of bed and, made it to the bathroom and I got on all fours like I was praying to the porcelain god. And I really went to, upchuck a batch and just
Shit in the shower.
filled my britches up right there. Yeah. That was a
Now,
tough,
see, last time I
tough
remember
morning.
the household having
tough
that,
morning.
Filled them up.
Jenna and two of her girlfriends, we were living in Brazil. They went to Indianapolis. I don't remember what it was called, but they had this it wasn't a traveling circus, but it was like a traveling exhibit.
Barnum and Bradley?
It was a traveling exhibit, and they had cadavers cut up to all different,
Oh,
like,
Sounds exciting.
first
a
cadaver
science
was
thing?
just skin, then it would show the venous system or whatever, and then
Venus. Yeah.
Venus, and then the other one had all the veins stripped out, and it was just a bunch of cadavers. And at any rate, they went to that. So she had her 2 girlfriends over, and I went out and hung out with buddies that evening. We're all back at the house. Everybody needs to think about leaving on Sunday, and nobody's feeling good. I'm like, everybody drank a little bit. But we ended up with 4 people in a one-holer house.
Puking
and shitting uncontrollably. And
God.
like her one friend, I barely even knew. I knew Becky pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Becky.
But we're all in there, and I'm barfing and shitting off the back stoop because same thing. You can't do one without the other.
Have you ever done that? Like sprayed diarrhea?
Oh boy.
No, I don't think I've ever like intentionally tried to spray diarrhea.
Like a freaking skunk.
Like I wasn't trying to paint the house.
What a random question.
You don't know if you got it bad, bud, until you have.
I feel like to know you're spraying, you got to be like stark naked. And
I
pointed.
shit outside every day for 12 years, religiously. Shit outside for 12 years, religiously.
Coal mine life, Dave.
To where, because I was a machine operator and we couldn't just like
find a bathroom.
go to the shitter, you know?
Yeah.
And there were times where like, oh God, like Code Brown, like you got to go. And then like you barely get your britches down and it is.
But you're the same guy that shits 8 times a day, and that's
No,
wild to
not
me.
anymore. It used to be. Yeah, I used to shit copious amounts. But anymore, I'm maybe like a 2 or 3 guy now.
You know, I never really shit outside much until we were living in Celestine, had a sewage blockage. Root grew through the.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll happen.
Yeah, it'll get them.
That'll happen on them big jobs.
But we were out there in the middle of nowhere, so I ended up dedicating a 5-gallon bucket, and there's a porch or a night light, on the pole
Mm-hmm.
right by my truck.
Dusted on light. Yeah.
So I just left my bucket out right in front of my truck, and
Pretty hard times back here in Celestine, huh?
and then I just lean up on the back of the truck.
Different neighborhood.
It was cool time of year. Not cool like
Kind of like the outdoor shower idea.
You ever shit outside in the snow?
in Colorado.
I hated the winter when it comes to shitting because the steel was cold, like everything you'd hold on
Well,
to.
there I wasn't like
And you
leaning
can't
on
wipe your
tracks.
ass with gloves on. You got to take your glove off to
Oh, you
wipe.
gotta take your gloves off. Yeah. I took septic safe TP up there, thinking maybe it'd degrade faster than the mountain sides of the Colorado.
I tell you what,
landscape.
puking is one of my least favorite things to do. But I'm gonna tell you something right now, boys. If you're feeling like a garbage dumpster, and you just upchuck a big old batch, you feel a lot better.
Well, and it's awful when it's happening, but I always feel like, I feel refreshed. Like
I do too.
cleansed,
I do too.
like-
Like it's a natural thing, and you have no control of it. Like if you think about that, your body is literally purging itself of the shit in your stomach, and you have no control over it. Like usually, you think you got a really good hold on your body, other than like breathing and shitting and stuff. But like puking is just like you can't stop it. Not
The
a
worst
chance.
part
Well,
about it.
shitting, you can hold it. You can.
Not if it's spraying.
Because that's why I had to leave work. Like I was sweating. I was in bad shape when I got home because I knew
Yeah.
it was coming. And
Like people do this whole maneuver,
and then you just spray out the side,
and
Yeah,
then
you
it looks
can't
like a
stop barf.
venom spray. Yeah, can't.
The worst part about it is the post couple days after.
That's what he was dealing with. I talked to him.
like the irritation from
sore
your
Yeah,
muscle.
his
Oh my
stomach,
gosh.
your abs, tough.
Because everything's inflamed.
Yeah.
That's a tough spot.
Wild deal. Hey,
Hey.
T's and P's, buddy. Glad you're feeling
Yeah,
better.
glad
glad
back,
you're
glad
okay.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
Braddo got?